Yo, what's going on, guys? GZTV back with another video. Sorry if my hair's up. I don't really care at this point. Like, I'm just sick as shit. And I need to get these videos out. We have Pearl. We watched that last night. It was a couple hours before I had, like, a fucking stomach flu incident where I was just I threw up, like, 3 times. Had, like, 2 diarrhea incidents. I mean, I know that's a little TMI. I don't know why this isn't focusing on me. It's really pissing me off. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. We gotta get into the plot and the critical reception of this one. I need this video to... This camera's pissing me off, but... Anyways, so in 1918, during the influenza pandemic, Pearl is a young woman living with her German immigrant parents on their Texas homestead while her husband, Howard, serves in World War I. So Pearl is the old woman from the X movie, which they're, like, connected. This is, like, a prequel, which is really dope that they did this. They did it all in one year. One of the more impressive feats in recent film history. Pearl's father is infirm and paralyzed, and her domineering mother, Ruth, insists that she help care for both him and the farm. That's like her only purpose in life. That's all her mother wants Pearl to do. And this kind of motivates Pearl because she's tired of, like, being a slave and, like, working only for her mother and not doing things for herself. Pearl, longing for a more exciting life, is captivated by the films she sees at the local cinema and aspires to become a chorus girl, much to Ruth's disapproval. Obviously, she doesn't want this girl to have hopes and dreams. That's not even like an exaggeration. She genuinely just wants her to be a homebody and sit at a farm all day. If I have to, like, go throw up and stuff off camera, guys, I will do that and mute my mic and stuff. But for now, I gotta have my Gatorade here. I'm sick as shit. I need to get these videos out of the way so I can watch my shows and call it a night. However, Pearl also shows signs of being a disturbed individual. For example, she kills farm animals and physically abuses her father. So she is very disturbed. She's not like a normal person. And it could be because of the insanity of, like, just staying at this farm all day. At the movie theater, Pearl meets a young projectionist who takes a liking to her, so they start to, like, form a relationship. While riding her bicycle home, Pearl stops along a cornfield and begins dancing with the scarecrow, fantasizing about the projectionist, and masturbates with it. It is disgusting. Pearl's a very fucked up person, let's be honest. When her mother realizes that 8 cents are missing from an errand Pearl did, Pearl is berated about being careless and has her supper withheld. Obviously, 8 cents was a lot in the 1910s. Pearl's affluent sister-in-law, Mitzi, tells her of an audition being held to acquire new dancers for a traveling troupe, which Pearl envisions as a way out of her circumstance. This is like a big opportunity for her. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And it's not even that serious. Like, she just wants to get off the farm this bad. She later sneaks out of the house at night and visits the projectionist, who shows her a free ride, an illicit stag film he acquired in France. It's like a sexual movie, of course, to kind of fit with the whole idea that happened in the X movie. Yeah. Let's see. He encourages Pearl to pursue her dreams, do whatever the fuck she wants. Don't let anyone say her otherwise. Tell her otherwise, whatever. Pearl comments that she cannot abandon her family and that she wishes they would just die so she can leave them. She's a family woman, but it's like throwing her into like a downward spiral. When Ruth finds a program Pearl took from the movie theater, the two get into a fierce argument over dinner. A physical altercation erupts, during which Pearl shoves her mother against the kitchen hearth, igniting her dress and resulting in Ruth suffering a life-threatening burn, so she's pretty much on her deathbed. Pearl pretty much just killed her mother. And this was accidental. I mean, it's not like Pearl wanted to kill her. Maybe she did. But, and by the way, Mia Goth was great in this movie. So yeah, there's that. Pearl drags Ruth into the basement and leaves her father seated in the kitchen, like, neglecting him pretty much. She flees to the movie theater where she has sex with the projectionist. She needs to get away. Her family life is going downhill. In the morning, the projectionist drives Pearl back to the farm so she can prepare for the audition. She is perturbed by a now maggot-infested roasted pig Mitzi's mother left for Ruth the day prior, and by inconsistencies Pearl has told him, as well as by her theatrical behavior. When he attempts to leave, Pearl flies into a fit of rage at his abandonment of her and stabs him to death with a pitchfork before pushing his car with his corpse in it into a pond where an alligator she has nicknamed Theta eats his remains, which the alligator is pretty much like killing everyone in the movie that she like animals and stuff. Yeah. Pearl dresses herself in one of Ruth's lavish gowns and dresses up her father before smothering him to death. He wanted him to have like a beautiful death. It was an interesting kind of decision that she made, I guess. Pearl arrives at the church where the audition is being held. She gives a dance performance she feels went over the talent scouts. I mean, it wasn't a bad dance, but is devastated when she is rejected for not being young, blonde, or all-American. She's got like German roots, and I guess they don't appeal to that. And she gets very upset. This is probably the root of all of her problems in X, the movie X. She sees all these young women being successful in a field, and she gets jealous. Mitzi accompanies her home in an attempt to console her. In the kitchen, Pearl makes a lengthy confession of Mitzi about her resentment towards Howard, who came from a privileged background but insisted that the couple remain on her family's farm, and admits she was relieved when she miscarried his child. So it's like this is probably one of the most iconic moments of the movie. She has like this monologue or whatever, and yeah, it's very interesting. She further confesses her feelings of alienation and insecurity, her joy in acts of harm, and to taking the lives of her parents and the projectionists. Like, she literally admits to murder. Her life is pretty much over as we know it. Like, she has no hope. She might as well put it all out on the table. Pearl then manipulates a stunned Mitzi into confessing that she won the audition over Pearl. That's all she wanted. She wanted Mitzi to admit that Pearl did better than her, which it's not that serious, it seems like, but Pearl takes everything seriously. Any opportunity she gets to leave the farm. Jealous that Mitzi won the audition, Pearl chases her down the driveway and kills her with an axe. Pearl dismembers Mitzi's body and feeds her corpse to Theta before going into the basement and lying with a deceased Ruth. She has succumbed to her burns, and all that stuff. Having concluded that her mother was correct and that Pearl should make the best of what she has, she decides to remediate her wrongdoings by creating a comfortable home for Howard when he returns from the war. Now they're just going to be living by themselves, and Howard is the old man. She ends up staying with him for the rest of her life. He's the old man from X. And some of it is obviously rubbed off on him, because we see that in the X film. The next morning, Howard arrives unexpectedly, which is interesting. She didn't think he'd be back from the war this soon. In the kitchen, he's horrified to find the bodies of Pearl's parents seated at the dining table around the rotting pig. Who knows what he was thinking. Pearl greets him with a protracted, pained smile. Well, another one of the most iconic shots in the film. Her just like sitting there, like tears coming out of her eyes. Mia Goth is fantastic in this movie. Oh man, and the fact of the matter is, I mean, like, that monologue is so damn impressive that she did. No cuts. She was just talking and talking and talking, and she made it worth the audience's while. Let's get into the critical response. I know usually these movie reviews are a little more lengthy, but I want to cut them short because I'm sick and I don't want to like stay in a video for more than like 15 minutes, or else I'll probably like pass out or something. But on Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 91% based on 162 reviews with an average rating of 7.7 out of 10. I mean, people generally liked this. I could find, like, the appeal of it. I wasn't a huge fan of this movie. I think it was good still. X was way better, in my opinion. It's still cool. It still doesn't fail as a prequel or anything. But Pearl finds Ty West squeezing fresh gore out of the world he created with X, and once again benefiting from a brilliant Mia Goth performance. She used to be in all sorts of like sexual movies. Now she's in the horror movie scene, and she is doing... Sorry, there's something on my TV. Like, destroyed your guys' eardrums, but... Yeah, Mia Goth doing great in the horror field. 7.3 out of 10 on Metacritic, 31 reviews. People liked this movie generally. B- on Cinema Score, 75% positive on Post Track, 54% recommend. It premiered at the Venus Film Festival, and a lot of people had things to say. West's direction and Goth's grandiose performance was great. It's a damn near perfect movie. It's not as entertaining as X. That's the only problem in my opinion. What is in front of the screen? Whatever. Perhaps I shouldn't have enjoyed Pearl as much as I did, but it's clever, limber, gruesome, and brutally well acted. A gem. It's a cleverly packaged pandemic production with narrative echoes of that global anxiety. You know, the screenplay, the cinematography, the score, Goth's performance, all really big, great parts of this movie. She kind of has like a Shelley Duvall type of moment in this movie. It's one of the best horror films of 2022 for sure. One of the best films of the year period as well, and a bona fide cinematic classic that deserves Criterion status ASAP. While West doubles down on what made X such a thrilling feature and consolidates that what he is good at, the film ultimately feels like a weak parody of the MGM days of the Wizards of Oz. That's the only negativity people have. Martin Scorsese saw the film, and when he's impressed, you know you made a good movie. It's mesmerizing. It was powered by a pure, undiluted love for cinema. The character of Pearl is one of the most stylish people of 2022. Her blood red dress, lacy blue bow, smudged makeup, boots, and axe. It has so much iconic appeal to it. It's great. X is way better, so if you want one of the movies of the series to watch, though, I would recommend X. X is really good. But yeah, I'm gonna continue to watch all the 2022 horror films. I don't really like going to the movie theaters and stuff, so I like waiting for them to get on streaming service. I think The Menu is going to be watched tomorrow. I have to watch The Last of Us today. I'm gonna do that right after this, and then we'll probably give out a Walking Dead review. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully this video wasn't too lackluster. GZTV, as always, giving you guys the best movie and TV show reviews. We're currently watching Dexter and Walking Dead. And I've been watching some of the most iconic horror films of